All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about the Oceania people and their white DNA. So, right now, what you're looking at um, Oceania people. These are the dark complexion people of the Pacific Island, dealing with people in that region of Australia, Papua New Guinea, and Solomon Islands, and Fiji, Micronesia, Melanesia, and so on, Polynesia. So all these people uh, that are dealing with a certain grouping of people of Japhetic people. So these are your dark complexion Japhetic Caucasian people. And the reason why I call them Japhetic Caucasian people is because these are one of the original people groups of Europe. So this is the Japhetic people that used to live in the Greece region of Europe. And now they relocated to the Pacific. So those islands in the Mediterranean and the Pacific Island um, region are very similar with their climate. So um, it's one of the things that are very similar about these people. These people that are island-based people. Now you still have some remnant of these people in the native regions of how can I say Eastern Europe, and also in some parts of Asia, right there in western parts of Asia. But other than that, you have a big majority of the people group um, in the Pacific Island. So now we're gonna get into some charts, couple charts. I think this is the one that I'm looking for. White DNA haplogroups and population populations of Oceania. So I'm gonna just scroll down to show you the uh, regions. And now I'm gonna scroll up to show you some of the haplogroups. So right away you just see like a few groupings of haplogroups dealing with white DNA. Technically, what you're just looking at uh, two races of people, two different groups of people that tend to get confused as being the same groups of people, but they are not because of dark complexion groups. Um, the C2 and the C group and the C4, those would be your Shemitic Moabite people. The K, the M, and the S, that would be dealing with the same closely related group of people dealing with the Japhetic Caucasian people of Oceania. The O is another closely related group of people, Japhetic Caucasian people, but these would be your Japhetic Asian people, the O. So I'm going to just scroll down to see some percentages of the K. You have 36, 41, 32, 35, 65. So real quick, I think that's those are going to be the highest. 59, so 59.4, Solomon Island. Scroll up, 41 maybe, or 65, 65, Micronesia. So a lot of these groupings of people are dealing with split populations between Shemitic Moabites and Japhetic groups of people. So we're gonna go from that chart to another chart real quick. This is Southeast Asia, I believe. Populations of East Asia and Southeast Asia. And once again, I'm going to show you the region. These are the regions. So you have a lot of mainland Asia groupings. You have a few island groupings, but I wanted to show you the understanding of remnant of groups of people, especially when dealing with Japhetic people, with certain groups of Japhetic people. I'm going to scroll up. Now we're going to go across. So the C group would be your representation of Shemitic Moabites. The D group would be your representation of Shemitic Ammonites. F would be your Shemitic Elamites. And right here, you get to this cluster or group that is K. And it goes most likely K2A, parentheses, NO, LMNQRS. So technically, or in sometimes T. So technically, K, KM, and S and T, KMS and T, and sometimes R, you could group together as very closely related groupings of people. L, N, and Q would be Japhetic Asian groups of people, and those would be your closely related groups of people. The R is your Western Japhetic grouping, your Western European Japhetic grouping of people. So, and once again, they have N on the side, all by itself. You have O, so N and O are, Asian, P, Q, Asian, Japhetic, Asian groups of people. So, I'm going to scroll down to see percentages. So, it shouldn't be much because for K, this is mainland. So, K would have like small percentages compared to the Oceania region. So that's the mainland region. So the highest ones were 21, 17, and 28. 28 was for Yi. Yi, Sichuan, Yu, Nan. Where is that? Probably China or something. Alright. Ethnic group in China, Vietnam, and Thailand. Yi people. Okay, we are gonna move from that. So all this is just visualization because once you understand what the people group look like, and then once you understand the haplogroup marker for the people group, then you got be aware of the charts, the placement of the people and the results and the percentages and so on, from region to region. So we go from there to, I want to say, another chart. Is this a picture? I think both of these are pictures. So I probably want to jump to this one real quick. Feels like I got to sneeze, but excuse me. So with this one right here, we are looking at the legend. The legend have colors and haplogroups next to it. We have pie charts throughout some parts of Libya, Italy and Sicily, Bulgaria. So technically it's three charts that we can see, but we see like a color coded chart off to the far right. That's a chart that we can't see, but it's okay because we are just interested in the colors anyway. So if we could just see a little bit of color, it's no big deal. It's all right. So at the top of the chart, as you can see, you have E-M2. E-M2 would be your Hebrew Israelite marker. So as you can see, there's no coloration dealing with that people group on these charts right here. So we are moving down to the basic understanding of the people group that we are looking into right here, right now, and that would be your um, Japhetic Caucasian people dealing with the original people that live in the Greek island region and the Oceania people. So we are looking for K. So right away we find KLT-M9. So we found the people group. So um, they are with a like a pastel color of like a blue or gray coloration. So we are gonna look across to see if we can find that group. So we have a percentage of the grouping in Bulgaria, and then we have off to your far right, that coloration right there is dealing with a bigger grouping in the Turkey Black Sea region. So now we have an understanding of a remnant of the original people group are still in the region, and this remnant is possibly dealing with, you know, pale complexion groups of this K group because it's KLT-M9. So it's pretty much likely that this will be your pale grouping of that group of people. But like always, like I tell you about Japhet, remember Japhet is a very unique grouping of people. The dark complexion people can easily reproduce any and many different types of complexion types of people. So it's not just like a albino trait built in, but it's the ability to have mutated genes that could easily be enhanced by the environment and other people groups. So that's why I call Japhet the imitation race of people. So as you can see, there are remnant of that native group of people, which is common for native groups of people to still exist in a region at a native or at a smaller population because they've been absorbed by other groups of people. So you have smaller percentages and populations. So we move on to what else? Uh, one more chart. I believe we have one more chart. So this is another website that is dealing with collection of DNA information, mtDNA, and yDNA. So I'm gonna just scroll down the page. This is dealing with Oceania people. So they have a graph that I wanted to look at with the yDNA. This would be your mtDNA of the groups dealing with the female groupings of people. So we scroll down some more, and here we are at the yDNA portion of the information. So once again, we look at the legend. The legend is showing a lot of Shemitic Moabite groups with the C groups. You have a black box representing F, the Shemitic Elamite group. You have a lot of K groups with the red. So you have KM dash or K dash M9, K dash P, K dash P117. You have S, another grouping of people that are closely related to K, and then you have M. After that, a lot of M's, and then you have NO, O, and P and R, and then others. So real quick, we're gonna look at Australia and Fiji. So Australia is obviously um, a greater percentage of Shemitic Moabite people, the Aboriginal Australian people, or the Aboriginal Australian people are the greater percentage of the people group over there. As you can see, the light green, and then the green with the black stripes, and then the red dealing with the K group. Now we move to Fiji. Fiji has a very diverse population group, but once again, you have C groups that are, pretty much a good size of the population, and then you have a M group that is um, as well a decent size, and then you have percentages of the K group. So you have, you know, Japhetic people that are making up most of the people on that island. Now we move to Papua New Guinea, and I believe it's the one right over Guinea. So you have the purple pastel color. That's the representation of M, I believe. So that's right, M. And then you have a little yellow marker, some more M. You have a red marker, that's a K. You have some C groups. You have some O groups, and that's about it. So as you can see, the region is a very diverse split population between Shemitic Moabites and Japhetic uh, Caucasian and Asian groups of people. And real quick, I'm gonna show you this last picture dealing with just the mtDNA of that region. The mtDNA of that region. The interesting thing is on here. So I haven't gone into too much mtDNA information, but the little bit that I do know is there's no D in Australia for the Shemitic Moabite. So that's an interesting one right there. And I believe the Q would be the representation of the Oceania people, the Japhetic Caucasian people, and the same with white DNA. The same is the same with mtDNA. You have multiple groupings of people dealing with Japhetic groupings. So a lot of the DNA, the mtDNA and the white DNA matches because um, God make pairs of people. So that's why you have to pair the people group together. That's understanding that you have to have. You have to know a little bit about the Bible and try to and the understanding of trying to understand DNA. So this is not made up stuff. But I'm looking at the people group or the mtDNA grouping, and it's just SPQOMNR, and then the D is a D in Central Asia in the middle, and then there's obvious D in Korea and also in Japan. So I just wanted to share with y'all that interesting bit of information. Okay, and with that, I wanted to say once again, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother, Hamashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Once again, I just wanted to say thank y'all for the views. Thank you for the comment. I will try to answer the comments as soon as possible. And once again, I try to do these videos to bring about a better visual context to the information that we are looking at when we are understanding DNA. DNA is just um, content or the nucleotide protein counts of certain regions, of certain diets that built in to our body and that created, you know, different um, molecules that separate us and other people group. So these proteins that we have, these nucleotides that we have in our body, they are different. They are not similar. And a lot of people are trying to say that DNA is a hoax because DNA is trying to mix and do all kinds of other stuff. No, DNA is separating people from each other. And that's where I'm explaining you the difference between, you know, the Shemitic groups of people, the Hamitic groups, and the Japhetic groups. Now, within those races of people, you might have very close related similarity people groups, but other than that, you just can't jump massive haplogroups and people groups to get people to become one or the same people group when they are nowhere close to having the same DNA, you know. So it just don't work like that. I think a lot of people are hooked up on atmosphere, and atmosphere is not what you think is the whole process of, you know, relations, you know, percentages of mixed marriages and interracial dating throughout the years and stuff. No, it's not that. It's not. You know, you used to have a white parent. You used to have an Asian parent. No, it's the same people group migrating, moving, and being in a region for a while, and then you end up with trace mineral sources from that region. You know, but your Y DNA and your mtDNA is a solid content that don't change. Period. All right. Once again, thanks and all praise once again to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother Amashiach Yahushai, and once again to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Peace, love, and thanks.